I just don't get it. Why is everyone so apprehensive about Gears Judgment? It's like every time it gets brought up, anytime somebody says anything about it, everybody's like, oh, it's going to be the worst game ever. It's not Gears of War. It's going to be terrible. There's no Locust. Oh my god, there's no Locust in multiplayer. Oh my god, we only spawn with one gun. Oh my god, what am I going to do? There's no stopping power. There's no actives. It must be the worst game of all time. I don't get it. I really don't. Everything that I've heard about it so far, everything that I've watched has seemed amazing for the game. Let's be honest here. Alright, just for 20 seconds, be honest with yourself. How long would you say Gears of War 3 lasted before it died? Okay? I would say about 6 months. And that's still kinda generous. If I said that it died in May 2012, where people just weren't playing it that much anymore, I would say if less than 50,000 people were playing it a day, I think you can kinda, not necessarily call it dead, but it's just not as popular at that point. And at that point, I mean, truthfully, even just a couple months after it came out, I could rarely find more than 10,000 people in TDM alone. Now, granted, that would mean there's usually about 20,000 people playing, but the point is, if Gears 3, a game with that much content, a game that was that good, because if we're going to be objective here, Gears 3 was the best of the 3 games. Yeah, Gears 1 had that new factor to it, but when you compare the 3 games, if they all came out at the same exact time, Gears 3 would have destroyed the other 2. Gears 1, yeah, it would have been really fun, but it also would have been really glitchy, really buggy, really laggy. It just doesn't hold up to games today. Yeah, it's a great game 7 years ago, or whenever the fuck it came out at this point. The point that I'm trying to make is that if they made another Gears of War game that was in the vein of the first 3 games, it would have been Gears of War 3 again. Because in Epic's eyes, Gears of War 3 is more or less perfect, and it's not really that far of a stretch to say that. I mean, yeah, they could get rid of actives, they could get rid of stopping power, but to the average person, to the casual fan, the core gameplay is still the exact same at that point. They don't know about things like that, how they affect the gameplay. So the fact of the matter is, if they made another Gears game, if Gears of War Judgment's multiplayer was Gears of War 3 again, it would have died within a couple months again. It might have even died within a month once people realized, oh, this is pretty much Gears 3, because that's what a lot of people did with Gears 3. They went, oh, it's Gears 2, but better. That's cool. And it kind of was. It was Gears 2, but with a lot of shit ironed out, and a lot of stuff making more sense. The point is, Gears of War Judgment is a total different direction to go in as far as multiplayer goes, and that's great, because that's exactly what the game needs if it's going to potentially be successful again. That's not to say that the game's going to last 3 years, 2 years, 3 years like Gears 1 did, because it's not going to. Gears 1 didn't last 2 or 3 years, contrary to what some of you think. It lasted about a year. Once Halo 3 and Call of Duty 4 came out, Gears of War 1 kind of died as well. But the point is that with Judgment, the game's taking such a radically different direction that it has an opportunity to be the #1 played game again. It has an opportunity to have more people playing it than Call of Duty or Battlefield at one time. And the problem has never been that people don't buy it enough. Gears 3 sold like 5 million or 3 million copies on its first day. That's more than enough to break into the into the #1 spot on most played on Xbox Live. The problem is that people can't get into it. It's not enough like other shooters, and that's probably where the biggest complaints come from, is that it kind of looks like it's Call of Duty. It's even got the same kind of game modes. It's got domination, team deathmatch, free-for-all, what have you. But at the end of the day, it's still going to play completely different. Yeah, there's no down but not out. There's no Locust in multiplayer, God forbid. Oh my god. Like everybody still wants to have to go one-on-one against a fucking Cantus or a Savage Cantus every 3.5 seconds, right? It's actually good that they got rid of Locust. I'm going to be totally honest with you. I would rather have to play against somebody playing as Baird or Sophia or fucking Cole every 3 seconds rather than that goddamn Cantus that eats 8 shots every time and then one-shots you from 90 feet away because of his active. Alright? Honestly, gameplay's going to be much, much better in my opinion. It's going to be different. That's going to be for sure. It's not going to be something you compare to Gears 1, 2, or 3, but it's going to be something that right now, I think I would rather play than Gears 1, 2, or 3. Maybe that's because we've been playing Gears of War 1, 2, and 3 for 6 or 7 years or whatever. But the point behind that is that the game is it's going to be able to attract different people. Gears 1, 2, and 3 were obviously much different than the mainstream shooters out there, which was a good thing. But at the same time, it kind of hurts the game's ability to grow. There were very few common characteristics that it had with, with a Call of Duty or a Halo or a Battlefield or what have you. that Gears Judgment will have. It's going to have that easier control scheme to get into. It's not, it's not going to be, oh, you've got these 4 weapons and you have to understand what each one of them does, and you need to know, when to use what in what situation. You get a primary gun, you get a secondary gun, you get a grenade. That's about as simple as you can get, and that the primary weapons are obviously going to be better than the secondary weapons in most cases, just like in Call of Duty with Call of Duty 4 and with all the other ones that didn't have, shotguns as a secondary weapon. But I just, like I said, I don't get why everybody's so apprehensive, even outside of the multiplayer. Let's say that I agreed and said that the multiplayer looked horrendous. We still have what's going to be far and away the best campaign for Gears of War. I don't care what anybody says. That the smart respawn system, I've been asking for that since Gears of War 1. That is the best thing they could have possibly added in a campaign, because not only does it add replay value, but it keeps it from getting boring. You can't figure out a level by failing it 50 times in a row like you could with Gears 1, 2, or 3. You have to actually beat the level. You have to beat the map, not the enemies on the map, which is good. It's going to matter more, the campaign's going to be more about level design than it is about, mowing enemies down, which is good, because Gears 1, 2, and 3 were kind of boring in that sense. And the fact that you're going to be in these gigantic large-scale battles rather than, 10 Locusts against your 4-man team or 2-man team, that's good too, because it's something we never really got with Gears 1, 2, and 3. I know most of you don't care about the campaign. I do. I played Gears 1's campaign 50 times, Gears 2's campaign probably 10 or 15 times. I only played Gears 3's about 5 times, just because it was a lot longer than the other two, in all honesty. But point is, campaign's going to be awesome. I love that they're adding in the declassified section, so you can change the story, you can get a different story. Like I said, replay value. That to me, in a single player or any kind of co-op kind of game, replay value is the most important thing after the gameplay. If I can come back and replay it multiple times, it's going to be one of my favorite games ever. Games like Fire Emblem, games like Tales of Symphonia, where you can play the same game and get a different outcome in most cases. Not necessarily a different end outcome, but a different outcome from your gameplay by doing different things. Those are my favorite kind of games. But that's enough of the campaign. I know most of you don't care about it. I'm excited for it. But and then the other thing is that I see people, as far as people not caring for the game, is that so many people are just like not even thinking about Overrun. Overrun could be the best thing that ever happens to Gears of War. Honestly, it could be the most competitive game mode we ever get. It could be the most fun game mode we ever get. People are complaining, oh, we have Team Deathmatch and Free For All and Domination. It's exactly like Call of Duty. Overrun is something that, outside of Left 4 Dead, nobody offers anything like that. And even then, Left 4 Dead is nothing like Overrun's going to be. It's a totally different kind of mechanic to it. It's just, for me, I might only play Overrun. I plan on playing a lot of Free For All, because I've always wanted Free For All in Gears. TDM, I'm kind of burned out on in Gears 3. I don't know how well Domination's going to work out. I thought King of the Hill was borderline perfect, but then again, that was with Down But Not Out. But Overrun is like, if you scratched everything about the Gears of War franchise and built it back up from the beginning with nobody having any recollection of it, if you had the game modes that were listed throughout the series history, Execution and Warzone and Team Deathmatch and King of the Hill 1 and King of the Hill 2 and King of the Hill 3 and Annex 1 and Annex 2 and everything, and you have Overrun, if you don't pick Overrun as the main game mode to advertise, you are retarded. That would just propel the game by itself, if it was a brand new IP, into being the #1 played game on Xbox Live, period. That's how good of an idea it is. And it's been one people have been asking for since Gears 1 came out, too. Like, it's been one that people just have always wanted. They've wanted to be the Locust, not be a Locust with, not be a red character with a Locust skin over him, versus, fighting a blue character with a blue skin over them. People have always wanted that, the Locust kind of experience from back when Gears 1 first came out. People wanted special traits attached to the characters. Now, granted, with the way the game played in Gears 1 and 2 and 3, you couldn't really do that, just off of the fact that it would imbalance the multiplayer and all that. But they've written all of that off, which is awesome. We're getting a different game. Alright? That's the best thing that could have happened with Gears Judgment. Because did anybody really want Gears of War 3 V2 9 months before fucking the next Xbox comes out? Is that really what you wanted? Think about it for a second. Did you want Gears 1 or 3 again? Or 2 if you're fucking just stupid. I don't know. Did you really want another one of them? No. You would play it for, at most, 9 months. We'd get another Xbox, you'd never play it again. We at least get something different, something exciting to build off of into the next generation for games, which is good. In my opinion, that's the best thing they could have done. Obviously, I'm excited about it. Obviously, other people aren't. I don't get it. I could go on for like half an hour to an hour about it, but I don't feel like doing that. My point is, Judgment looks great. Fuck you if you don't think so. You're just being negative. You're not accepting the fact that the game does need to change. Bye.